Hello children, how are you? Hope good. This is Shahab Khan and I'm back with my new video on my YouTube channel Urbane Learning Way UL Way. Today this is continuation of Scene 3 Act 5 of Julius Caesar, and without wasting any time let's get straight to the task. In the last video we had studied how Cassius misinterpreted the whole situation and decided that it was time for him to die. Now there was no point in fighting. That is what he had decided because he misinterpreted the whole situation. So let's start the text. Today we are going to start with line number 40. Pindarus returns. Cassius, come hither, Sirrah. In Parthia did I take thee prisoner, and then I swore thee saving of thy life that whatsoever I did bid thee do, thou shouldst attempt it. Come now, keep thine oath. Gives his sword to Pindarus. Now be a free man, and with this good sword that ran through Caesar's boils, search this bosom. Stand not to answer. Here take thou the hills, and when my face is covered, as 'tis now, guide thou the sword. So Pindarus, who was on the hill, Cassius asked him to come down and reminds him of the oath that he had taken, reminds him of the promise that he had made. And what promise had he made? Cassius reminds him of the time when he was taken prisoner in Parthia. Parthia is Persia, which is modern day Iran. I'm sure all of you must be knowing about it. When he had taken Pindarus prisoner in Parthia, he had made him so that he had forgiven his life, Cassius had forgiven his life and made him so that whatever he asked him to do and whenever he asked him to do something, he'll have to abide by it. He will have to do it. He would not have to. He was not. He will. He won't be asking questions. That is what he was supposed to do. And Cassius reminds him of this promise and tells him that it was time for him to keep his promise now. Okay. He gives Pindarus his sword and tells him to thrust it into his chest. Okay. And he said that once he dies, when he has done this task of killing Cassius, when he dies, Pindarus would be a free man. He was his slave. He had taken him prisoner in Parthia. So he would be a free man. And he tells him not to ask questions and just obey the orders. He tells him that when he covers his face, he had to guide the sword into his chest. He tells him to thrust the sword when he had covered his face. Okay. Pindarus stabs Cassius. Cassius, thou art revenge, even with the sword that killed thee. Now, these are very important lines. Okay. Pindarus kills Cassius. Pindarus kills Cassius. Kills Cassius. Okay. And what were the last words of Cassius? The last words of Cassius were that Caesar, you have been avenged. You have been revenged by the same sword that killed you. The revenge, the whole plot, the whole war that Octavius and Mark Antony were fighting, the main reason was that they wanted to, obviously there was a power struggle that is there, but as per the plot of the drama Julius Caesar that we are studying, the main aim was to revenge the death of Caesar, and the main conspirator was killed now, and killed with the same sword that killed Caesar. The overwhelming presence of Caesar is evident in these lines. Okay, the overwhelming presence of Caesar is evident in these lines. Okay, that what does Cassius think in these lines? It doesn't think about himself, about his family, about his past days. He thinks about what? Caesar. I've discussed quite a bit about who the hero of the play is, whether it's Mark Antony, whether it's Brutus, and you see, at this point of time, it appears that neither Brutus, see, if Brutus or Mark Antony were the hero of the play, why the play has not been named either Brutus or Mark Antony? The name of the play is Julius Caesar. What is the reason behind it? The reason is that Julius Caesar's persona looms large over the entire landscape of the play. Persona of Julius Caesar, persona of Julius Caesar, persona of Julius Caesar looms large over the play. Large over the play. Over the play. Say, if we talk about the physical presence of the main characters of the play, physically the presence of Antony, Brutus, Cassius may be more than Julius Caesar, but Julius Caesar is present in many other senses. Okay, all the W's, all the W's, all the W's, when, where, what, why, answer to all these W's. And what is the answer? All answer to all of them is Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar. It's not Mark Antony. It's not Brutus. Obviously, not Cassius. He is the villain. For example, what? What is the play about? What does the plot revolve around? Okay, the plot, obviously the plot revolves around the murder and revenge of Julius Caesar, isn't it? Doesn't the plot revolve around this thing, murder and revenge of Julius Caesar? Okay, Julius Caesar. Okay, who impacts the play more than any other character? Who impacts the play? Who impacts the play more than any other character? Impacts the play more than any other character. Any other character. And what do you think the answer would be? Obviously, it was Julius Caesar. In the last stages of the drama, what do we see? Physically, he is not present. Okay, he is dead. But still, the dying words of Cassius have pointed to the fact. Brutus sees him as ghost. Brutus sees him as ghost. Okay, go. Even if we are very rational to think that ghosts do not have an existence. So, what does Brutus see? What does Brutus see? Okay, so the impact on Brutus's mind, the psychological impact on Brutus's mind of the act of killing of Caesar and the aftermath. The psychological impact of the act of killing Caesar and the aftermath was such that even if we assume, although we are not of that opinion, but even if someone assumes that it can't be ghost, this is something like it's untrue, it's not realistic. How does Shakespeare does this? Shakespeare's world is very different from our world. Okay, even if you want to think that way, the psychological impact on, we can think it in another terms. Okay, the psychological impact on Brutus of Caesar's death was such, and his aftermath was such, that he had hallucinations. If it's not ghost, it is hallucination. And who is this? Who is impacting here? Who is making the impact? And see the last word of Cassius. It's Caesar is in his mind. It's Caesar in the mind of Brutus. Caesar in the mind of Cassius. And Caesar the reason behind Octavius and Mark Antony planning such a big warfare. I would say that Caesar is like a canopy. Okay, Caesar is like a canopy under whose shadow the entire drama of Julius Caesar unfolds. So he is the hero of the play. Okay, so that is why because of his physical presence being less, even if you don't call him the hero, yes, it's aptly named Julius Caesar. Okay, so Caesar is the canopy. Caesar is the canopy under whose shadow the entire drama unfolds. There is so I am free, yet would not have so been. Durst I have done my will, O Cassius. Far from this country Pindarus shall run, where never Roman shall take note of him. Pindarus, out of the loyalty that he had developed for Cassius, did not want to kill Cassius, but again because of that loyalty only he was forced to kill Caesar. And after doing this act, he did not want to face anybody. He did not have the courage or did not have the inner strength to face anybody. So he decided to run away to a place where no Roman would ever be able to find him or see him. Thus exits, Titinius and Messala enter. Masala, it is but change. Titanius for Octavius is overthrown by noble Brutus's power. Ah, Cassius' legions are by Antony. Titanius, these tidings will well comfort Cassius. So what happens here? Pindarus exits and Masala and Titinius enter. Okay, and they are contemplating the situation. Okay, what is the situation like? Masala and Titinius analyzing the situation here. Titinius analyzing the situation here. Analyzing the situation here. Analyzing the situation here. And what are they discussing? They're discussing that it's even Steven at the time. Okay, maybe Brutus had been able to overcome Octavius's unit, but at the same time, Cassius' unit has been army has been overtaken by Antony's legion. So that is something which would have made Cassius unhappy, and so they are coming with. They are not aware of Cassius' death, so they are coming with the news in the hope that this is something that would soothe the burning heart of Cassius. Masala, where did you leave him? Where did you leave him? Titinius, all disconsolate with Pendarus, his bondman, on his hill. Masala, it is not that he lies on the ground. Okay. So Masala asked him, he was not to be found. Cassius was not to be found. So Masala asked Titinius, where did he leave him? He said that he was all not country. He was not in his normal senses. He was, totally disconsolate. He was not being. He did not have any control over himself. He had lost control over himself at the time when I left him. But I left him with his slave Pindarus on the hills. Masala, is it not that he lies upon the ground? Titanius lies not like the living, O my heart. Masala, is it not that he lies upon the ground? Titanius, he lies not like the living, O my heart. Masala, is not that he, isn't that him? Titanius, no, this was he, Masala, but Cassius no more. O setting sun, as in thy red rays thou dost sing tonight, so in his red blood Cassius's day is set. The sun of Rome is set, our day is gone, clouds, dews, and dangers come. Our deeds are done, mistrust of my success hath done his deed. Okay. So they go about searching the body. They go out searching Cassius, and they find him lying on the ground, and they ultimately discover that he's not lying, but actually he's dead, and he is no more. So they are ruining the situation and thinking of what has happened. Had to console themselves, and what could be done now? He was dead now. So the only thing that they had to do was to console themselves. And Titanius compares him with the setting rays of the sun, and he says that this is a metaphor. Okay, simple. I'm sure the metaphor you must be understanding by now. It must be very easy for you to all of you to understand, like where metaphors are used in the entire play, or for that matter in poem or stories. It should be easy for you now. Okay, as with the rays sets the sun tonight, so with the red blood of Cassius sets his day of life. His day of life has come to an end. Again Titanius says, again Titanius compares him with the son of Rome. Compares with him with the son of Rome. Cassius gave life and vitality to the freedom and democracy of Rome. Okay, Cassius gave life and vitality to the freedom and democracy of Rome. That is what they were fighting for. Like Cassius, that the whole underlying philosophy, theory, agenda was this. Okay, he was a dictator. He had become a dictator. Was on the verge of. He had become a dictator. Freedom and democracy of Rome. With him gone, the life and vitality of Rome was gone. With him gone, the life and vigor of Rome was gone. With him gone, the life and vitality of Rome was gone. With him gone, the life and vigor of Rome was gone. Vigor of Rome was gone. Great comparison, this, okay, was gone. Great comparison, great obituary. The end of the great villain. Masala, mistrust of good success had done this deed. O hateful error, melancholy's child, why dost thou show to the apt thoughts of men the things that are not? O error soon conceived, thou never comest unto a happy birth, but kills the mother that engendered thee. See here, Masala explained the reason why Cassius died. Okay, Cassius said the mistrust of a positive outcome of war. What does Masala says? Masala says that it was mistrust of a positive outcome of the war. Mistrust of a positive outcome of war. Outcome of war. Outcome of war. And made him do this. Masala says that despair makes people do things which are not true and they act in error. Okay, people act in error because of mistrust. People act in error because of mistrust. Act in error because of mistrust. Because of despair, not mistrust, despair. Okay. And desperate he was, that we had studied in very detail. Okay, people act in error because of despair. So which figure of speech we have here? Which figure of speech here we have here? Figure of speech we have, it is personification. And what has been personified here? Error. Error has been personified. It Error has been personified here. It kills the creator instead of bringing any joy to the person who does error, who creates error. It kills him. So error has been personified here, and error Cassius did make. The error was of judgment. And why he did that, I've studied it. It would be a hammering of the whole thing if I again explain why he had become so desperate and how he misjudged the situation. Okay, so today I'll stop here only and try to complete the scene 3 in my next video. Okay, thank you for watching my video. Keep liking, keep subscribing to my channel, and it's bye for now. Thank you very much.